myself because we got so much lighting in the studio, so it's making me really hot. So welcome on board. Now today I'm going to go into my personal development. This is one of those ones that I really enjoy talking about, because without you developing as a person, everything we deal with life becomes a struggle. And I know of so many people who have struggled on this journey of life. You know, in life's journey, you're going to be interacting with people, whether you like it or not. People will come into your life and people will go. That's just what the journey is about. It is a process of growing in life. That's what this is all about. So, my name is Joy Fido, and I'm going to be chatting with you today about this type of things. This type of things that involves people coming in and out of our lives, and about the process of life itself. So today's title says, clear your head of people and disappointments. Clear your head. Now, why is it so important that we need to talk about it? If we don't take control of who we are, while I'm on this topic, I will encourage you seriously to follow me on Instagram, on my page, Joy Fido. Joy Fido, P-H-I-D-O, that's the surname. I throw out a lot of these things that help you in your thinking, things that help you in your mind. I mean, in our last video, we were talking about, me coming up with a new slogan. We used to say, let's start thinking, and life started going really rough and confusing. So now we're saying, let's start talking. Let's start talking. Why? Because when you don't speak out, it eats you up. The things you leave in your mind eats you up. And there's a lot of things going on out there where, we are all confused right now. Some people call it the New World Order. We've had the coronavirus thing going on, and we've been asked to be locked in for the past 3 months. Everyone's locked in, you can't go out. And then to add to it, we have having this racism thing rear its ugly head again in our lives. It's always been there. I mean, as far as I know, which I say to people who ask me, it's not going to go anywhere. For as long as we have whatever number of colors that we have, for as long as there are differences in colors, race would be an issue. And while we are talking about race in the West, when you go into individual countries, you then start hearing about tribes. You hear people say tribalism. I experienced tribalism in Nigeria. I'm not going to lie to you. And my community where I come from, other communities had to look down on my community, and as a child I was like, what is going on here? And that's why I fight things like this. I fight inequality. I fight prejudice. I fight inferiority. Anything that makes another person feel small, I hate it. But today we're on an individual basis, where everything that's going on around you, how are you processing it? And how is it affecting you? Because a lot is going on. So lots of people are struggling. People are suffering in silence. People are slowly dying. Because like I always say, most times we are dead people talking, or dead men walking. I think there are some movies like that says dead men walking. Israel. I had someone posted something, and you know how they say you only live once, and the person said no, we live every day but we die once, which is when we finally die. But see, it's not that kind of death where your body Your spirit leaves your body and body is not buried somewhere. We're talking about death where your spirit is not even connecting with your soul, or rather your soul is not connecting with your body anymore. Where there's a book I read once, it says the power of now. You're no longer present. Where in your situation, I won't say you, it's not you, we're talking generally now. In our situation, we're walking around, just like a ghost of ourselves, like in a shell. So that's the message I'm trying to bring here, where I'm saying we need to clear our heads of people and disappointment. So this is how the journey goes. We get born, you see yourself here on earth, and you're like, okay, how did I get here and what am I doing here?
Just walked in, so it's good enough. To get another battery, so I can have 3.
Yeah. Is it a battery charge? Okay, yeah. When you get it, naturally, I think you get it with the charger.
Let me reduce the VR. Where am I using VR for when it's sitting on the tripod? So it's still not doing any vibration though. No, it doesn't come with the charger. You can buy the battery by itself.
No, because I'm thinking if you have a charger, if you have a battery, where do you charge?
If I have 2 batteries on charge at the same time, ideally I should feed the camera straight to power, but it kills the motor quite quickly. Okay. Sorry about the flow, but batteries die.
So as a child, you're born to your parents and then you ask yourself, what am I doing here? Now, the process slowly works itself out. You know yourself with 2 people, being your parents. And in some cases, maybe one person, because maybe your dad was never there, or in some cases, mothers die at childbirth, and so the mother is not there and somebody else raises the child. So that's happening, and child grows up slowly, and child interacts with more people. Maybe in the house with other siblings, yeah, there are more people the child is seeing. And then eventually you grow up slowly, you walk, you crawl, all the usual things that children go through. And then you start going to school. So kindergarten school, nursery, startup school, and all of that's happening. You're beginning to interact with people. So as you begin to interact with people, you then hear your child comes home and starts to cry, my best friend did this to me, or my teacher said that and that. And so this is the stage where this child is forming his or her attitude towards the world, where you're beginning to see the world for what it is. And then you're slowly, based on whatever it is you've heard from maybe your parents talking to you, your relatives talking to you, your siblings, and then you're in school, all the things you're hearing, it's all adding up. And there's a book I read, Biology of Belief, where this child grows up till about the age 7, 8, when they now form their own opinion. So all these things going on, you're just taking it in and wondering what next. And then the child forms an opinion, and this opinion then dictates. When this person feels, no, that is wrong, yes, that is right, you start having your moral issues. So Is that point where you begin to differentiate between what is right and what is wrong that creates these disappointment stages. And so we need to accept the fact that disappointment is here in life. It will be here. It's not something that came out from the blues. For reasons, the way you see things will not always agree with the way I see things, or the way your best friend sees things, or the way your husband or your wife or your sister or brother or your boss or your community leader or your church leader. So you are going to be seeing things differently from other people, and that's what creates the disappointment. But I'll tell you why I had to bring this topic here today, because what happens is lots of us, and I'll say us, because whenever I come here to chat with you about anything, I'm not taking myself out of the picture. It's about all of us as a people. Lots of us break down. We start to break down when things don't work our way. Disappointment. So remember, I've said you're going to have issues with people because you've formed your opinion of what is right and wrong. And for as long as everybody's got their opinion of what is right and wrong, there will always be clashes. And these clashes is what is known as disappointment. So you're going to have clashes with your husband. You're going to have clashes with your wife. You're going to have clashes with your sister, your mom, your dad, your brother, your friends. This will happen. But the part that really should not be happening is when these clashes happen, lots of us stay stuck. We stay stuck in time. That simple biology belief explained it. And I need these things. We all need these things to keep pushing us and nudging us and reminding us that whatever is happening, it's not something that should hold us down. Some people call it the balancing of life. Because we need negative and we need positive to just kick you into place. If everything is happening so amazingly, you'll be bored. And if everything is happening so wrongly, you'll freak out. So when some happen badly and some happen good, you mix it up and you say, oh yeah, things are okay. And what happens when it happens so badly? You learn from it. You pick up some things from it. Oh, so this is what this means. Okay, I've learned. And this, I've had really crazy scenarios where if I wasn't somebody who tried my best to develop myself constantly, this thing they call mental health. A lot of us think mental health is craziness. Oh, what are they talking about? And of course, if you are from Africa like me, we generally think mental health means somebody who's stark raving mad, running down the street, clothes off. No. It starts slowly. It starts slowly where people begin to disbelieve people, get so disappointed with people, get so frustrated with scenarios or situations, just like this COVID-19. I had to do a video as well where I said, just because they've locked us in the house doesn't mean our mind has been locked up. But some people lock up their mind. That's why my new slogan now is, let's start talking. You lock up your mind and you don't say boo to anybody anymore. What then happens? You begin to talk to yourself. I mean, the other day we went to a city where we used to live, and my daughter and I were just walking across the road and we saw this woman. Chinese woman she was. I've seen her several times when we were living in that city, and I know that she's got a really, really serious mental issues. She was just speaking to herself. But the way she's speaking to herself, nowadays we got all this earpieces in her ear, and so she's just talking constantly. So you think she's on the phone. When we walked past her, I just said to my daughter, did you see that lady? And she said, oh yeah, she was on the phone. I said, no, she wasn't on the phone. because I've seen her several times, and that's all that happens. I used to be in the library when I'm reading. Now I know. I've seen her in the library several times, and she just walks from end to end, talking, 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 talking. She just walks around talking, and then she climbs down and leaves. That's a mental case. And that happens when we don't, before you know it, you already, the voices that are going on in your head is coming out of your mouth, and then you're just throwing it out, and then it becomes too much. So that's what I'm saying. Clear people out of your head. That's what the video says. Clear people out of you. Clear people out of your head. I know so many people that have people stuck in their head. I know, because you have this disappointment with this person, whoever this person is. You leave that person in your head, and it goes on and on and on, and you are the one struggling. You are the one suffering. This person is having a great life wherever they are, but you've locked them in your head. You need to let them go. Let people out of your head, because right now, with the things going on in life, it will get worse. If all you're worrying about is this person who wronged you, is always this person wronged me. It's never I wronged that person. I hold my hands up right now. If I've wronged you anyway, anyhow, forgive me. And if you wronged me, I forgive you. I've let go. Life should carry on. Because, like Dr. Lipton said in that book, Biology of Belief, we are only transmitting. The person that's talking to you right now here is a transmission of myself through this body. This body that we have physically here, do all the makeup, put all the clothes, all the beautiful things. When life is done, when God, your creator, our creator, says it's enough, the soul leaves. And then the body is left here on earth. That's why in the Bible you had, earth to earth. And it says God, pick the soil and breathe life into it. So that's why when we don't hear, we remain earth to earth. This body doesn't go anywhere. Because if it's not buried, it's cremated. All of it is still ashes, ashes to ashes. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. That's all we are, eventually. But that soul that's transmitting through this body lives. And so if we spend all our living days, the time we're supposed to be having fun here and, doing the basic things that God wants us to do, we should always want to remind you constantly, you're here on a mission. There's a reason you're here. There's something about you that God put in you only to come and give to this earth. There's something. You need to find that thing. And I find mine every time. I know now that for me, it's about fighting inequality. I cannot handle it. Anything that really bothers your soul, like you see it, you get so wound up. That's your mission. Deal with it. That's what I mean. Let's start speaking, or let's start talking. If I leave all that thing that's getting to me in my soul, I'm going to go crazy, and I don't want that. And that's why I speak. I see something that's not right for me, I scream, because that's how I feel about it. So there's something about you that you need to find that really, burns your soul, that ignites you, that makes you want to do something. That's your mission. Because I tell people all the time, you have a reason for being. People say, but I can never find my mission. Every day, I say, look into your soul. I don't know how to look into my soul. You look into your soul by knowing the things that really disturb you. And when I say disturb you, I'm not talking about, I want the latest Gucci bag. I want the latest Louis Vuitton. Lots of people think that's what life is about. No. Our life is not about designer clothes and designer wear and fantastic home and taking all that money and going to hide in Switzerland or France. Millionaire. Somebody wrote to me the other day on Facebook, I do all this talk. And thank you so much if you're watching me. And he said to me, thank you so much for all these videos you put out. I absolutely appreciate you. But my only problem is I still don't know how to become a millionaire in dollars. So I had to write back and say, life is not about being a millionaire. Look into your soul and find out what really your purpose is. Because the reality of our purpose is, when you find it, what happens is nature then supports you to make something out of it. Because what nature appreciates when you give something. So you have to serve. You have to give something that people want. You have to give something that is of use to other people. And it hit me the other day. I attend a lot of workshops, events, workshops. This is how I come across all these various books that I show to you on this channel, and obviously plus my going back to school and all of that. And one of the times when I went to one of these workshops, and this man was explaining how we need to, like when you tell yourself, I want to become a millionaire, I want to become a millionaire. He said, do you know it's very easy to become a millionaire? And we're like, how? And he said, just calculate. Whatever it is, divide by 1 million, divide by whatever price you want to put on anything. So say you are selling something. Let's say for instance you're selling shoes and you sell your shoes $1,000 or pounds, as the case may be. Now, 1 million divided by 1,000 being the price of your shoes. That would tell you how many people you need to sell that shoes to in order for you to become a millionaire. So if 1,000 was your price, we did some math. My daughter said it's 1,000 times. So if you sell 1,000, if you sell your 1,000 pound shoes to 1,000 people, you become a millionaire. And so use that deduction, whatever it is. Let's say you want to sell that thing 100 pounds or $100. You do the same thing. 1 million divided by 100 pounds or dollars, you get the total number of things you need to sell. That's how easy it is. So the bigger question, if millionaire is what your purpose is in life, you need to find out what that thing is that people want. And there's so many things people want. I mean, if we go to Africa, that's why I say, like with Africa, we have so much to do. But the problem is, infrastructure most of the time is what puts people off, things like lights and water and good road and security. These are things that put people off, but we're all going to get there. We'll get there. I am very, very, I believe wholeheartedly that Africa will rise again. I believe that. But the only thing I'm saying here is, whatever it is you think you can do that people want, do it. Divide by the number, put a price on it. And the next set of things you need to do is marketing. So you go out there marketing. Just make sure you market. Look at a good example, iPhone. I was chatting with my daughter and we're like, and she said, Mom, I know why iPhone is doing so well, because they have very good marketing. Before a new iPhone is coming out, there's a queue. People are waiting to give them money. And then, are you surprised why iPhone is $1 trillion business? So, according to her, they did great marketing. But not great marketing. I think she was like image. They create amazing image. But see, for us, we still need to find what that thing is that people desperately want. I know for, what's his name, the man who Steve Jobs. I watched a movie about him, and his attitude was, people don't need to look for it first. You can create what people want. He had a different psychology to business. He was like, you can create that hunger in people. Don't wait until they need it. You create the hunger. So these are the things we need to think about. These are the things we need to think about. Because if we are really desperate to make money, we need to find what people want. And if we don't know what they want, then we have to create something that they will want. And then we start to give that to them. But that's not where I am. I'm not about us trying so hard to become millionaire. I'm about us finding our purpose on earth. Because that purpose creates peace in your life. I was saying to this person who was talking about millionaire, I said, some millionaires don't have peace, and it's true. I know so many millionaires who actually go and commit suicide. Why? Because then things turn upside down. Then this disappointment we're talking about happens. Maybe your staff are disappointing you. Maybe the business itself is disappointing you. Maybe the friends, maybe your customers. All kinds of things could go wrong. And if you have not stabilized your person to understand how to handle things when they go wrong, you are at the point of dying. So many rich people give up when things start to go wrong. So the purpose of life is not about making money. Because just like we've said, this physical body that we're talking about that remains here will remain here. All that money you struggled and put together and created will remain here. Maybe your children, maybe your best friend, maybe whoever will come and take over all the things you struggled and sweated for. So the purpose of life is not about making money. The purpose of life is about finding what gives you inner peace. What drives you? What makes you think something is not right and it needs to be fixed? So if you can sort that thing out, you would have lived an amazing life. But you see, what stops most of us, like we just said, is this disappointment that goes on in our head. And so many people get stuck in that place. I know people who they're having problem with their wife. That's it. They can't move on anymore. They're having problem with their husband. Their life is done. They're having problem with their children. End of the road. They're having problem with their sister. That's it. You then take that person into yourself. Or they're having problem with their job. The big message here is, whenever things like that happen to you, it's just an opportunity to see deeper into yourself. What did I do that created this scenario? How can I make this not happen again? What lessons have I learned from this? In my other relationships, how can I make it better? Like as a young girl or a young boy, you're starting our life, we're trying to bring the story of the child growing up and getting to school and all of that. So you then meet your first lover sometimes, and then it goes wrong because it's your first experience, and then you want to kill yourself. People do. But see, it's just, this is what life is. This is my first experience of interacting with somebody, and it's not what I'm thinking that this person is thinking. You move on. And then maybe you come across the second person and maybe similar happens again. You go, oh my gosh, where did I go wrong? You learn again from that experience. You move on. And it carries on like that in life. Then you hear people go, oh, I found my soulmate. And I always laugh because, well, maybe it works for some people, but I don't know about soulmates. Why? You were raised differently. There are things you naturally fall for, and that person doesn't fall for that thing. It doesn't mean that person is not good enough for you. It doesn't mean that that person doesn't fit into your personality. It just means we don't see the same things from the same eye. We don't understand some of these things because deep down in you, there's something about you that gets attracted to that kind of thing, and about that other person that gets attracted to something else. So it's not about condemning people just because they don't see things your own way. It's also not about you condemning yourself because you didn't see things their own way. Because that's the one that interests me. I'm not interested in people who are strong enough to move on and say, you know what, that was an experience, it's happened, it's gone, I'm moving on, my life carries on. So we really need to analyze our lives. We really need to wake up from this pain of taking people with us and taking experiences with us and taking situations with us and getting all eaten up and getting all dragged down to the depths of life and refusing to come out of scenarios because the one that really gets to me, lots of us think it only happens to me. We feel so sorry for ourselves. I've seen that. It only happens to me. And I'm telling you, everyone has a story. Everyone has a story. And like they normally say, it takes two to tango. You're in a relationship or in a friendship or whatever it is, in a job, whatever it is, in a business, and things don't work out right, it's just for you to go back. You know how they say, go back to the drawing boards and connect the lines to see where things went wrong and see where you could have done better, or see where, you know what, no matter what I did, this situation would have happened, no problem, I've learned from it. Please, this is my big message to you through this video. Do not allow anyone to hold your life down. You are here with a message from your Creator. You're here with a message from God. You are you. The day you were born, you were not born with anybody. Even if you were twins, that person came some minutes after you or a minute before you. So you are unique. You are complete. You are an individual. You are strong in yourself. So do not allow any attachments. Oh, my father, my mother, my sister, my best friend, my husband, my wife, my children. All of these are attachments we come across in this world. They don't take away the message that God has given you. They are meant to support you in your strength. They are meant to help you in your development. They are meant to be part of you. But even at that, if that doesn't happen, it's not a problem. You move on. And I remember when one of my cousins, who is late now, sent a video. It was quite interesting, and it was like it was called the Train of Life. And people were getting on this train, and what happened? You know how when you're traveling on the train stops at different stations, and what happens? People drop off. People drop off. People drop off. That's the same thing with the train of life. The people you started your life with are not the people who will carry on with you. People will be dropping off along the way. People will be dropping off. You will drop off too. I will drop off. We all drop off. So if you allow the thought of something somebody did to you to stay stuck in your head and stops you from carrying on your mission, you have disappointed yourself. You have disappointed God. You have disappointed life. So my advice to you and me is we need to grow up. We need to understand that disappointments are here to stay. And we need to understand that we need to be strong to handle them when they come. And then we move on to the next level of our lives, to doing the next things that God demands from us, to doing the next things that life demands from us. The whole purpose is for us to create a better life that we can all live in and have the best of fun while we are here. I mean, there's a music, I can't remember, it said, living my best life. We should be living our best lives, but we allow too much pain to hold us down. So I'm hoping that this has lifted you up, and I'll be more than happy to hear your comments on this one. So feel free to write your comments down below, and remember to like our videos and share it with your friends, and click that bell for notification when we come on, and follow us on all other media, social media. We're on Facebook as well. I do a lot on Joyfido Facebook. I do a lot on Joyfido Instagram as well. Things to do with personal development and growth. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.
It's a wrap.
If it called. She always has a way of calling me when I'm in my video mode.
She always times it doesn't lose.
Ooh. Sweating.